last night. We saw you have a 2-for-2 game. You had on base all 4 times. Just when you think about the results that you've been getting, especially when you look at this past week, what do you think has just been kind of the focus for you, or what's kind of got you back to where you like to be offensively?
I think a couple things. A couple things is finding the right things in the cage to be doing, mechanics-wise, and then also just having a more locked-in approach where I'm hunting my zone a little bit better. So I think the combination of those two things has helped out.
Yeah, when you look at that, is there something that, obviously people have different cues that they kind of go to. When you feel like you've lost it, how have you found just kind of getting back to those cues that tell you where you want to be, especially offensively?
Yeah, I think it kind of all comes back to having a couple of basic principles that I really need to make sure are good with my swing, and then going back and watching video, and if those things aren't there, then just kind of messing around with a lot of things to help me reinforce and getting back to those basic fundamentals. So, sometimes it'll look different, but I feel like I found a cue the past maybe like 4 or 5 days ago that really helped me. So
it's no secret that the last 10 days, and even if you look at just this month of June thus far, you guys have been playing some very tough teams, most teams that are above 500 in the playoff conversation, but especially these last 10 days, the Padres, the Giants. How would you describe just kind of what this month has looked like for you all? One, how you all have been able to find success against these tough teams, but also some of the emotional wear and tear of playing some division rivals.
Yeah, it's a good test. You're playing against the teams that we're going to need to beat to win the division. So it's felt nice to have that success, especially this last week and a half. But yeah, we really get tested during this time. Definitely a lot of tiring and eventful games. But it kind of prepares us well for the stretch run when we're going to be getting ready for playoffs. And still got a lot of season to go though. So can't look too far ahead.
Yeah, but I will say, if we do kind of look a little bit ahead, the All-Star conversation is one that's been very much on the table. Your name is, of course, in it. Andy Pages, other players on this team. How special would it be to see a young player like Andy just kind of have his first All-Star ballot?
Yeah, he deserves it. He's been playing so well. He's really kind of carried our offense for a few stretches this year. Just been on fire, and he's such a talented player that definitely deserves that All-Star bid.
Yeah. To be on a team just with so much talent in this group, how are you finding just kind of bouncing, coming off the ankle injury, whether you're playing at second, moving up center field? I know that you've primarily been more in the infield as of late, but how are you kind of just handling ankle health and kind of the versatility defensively?
Yeah, it's definitely not trying to do too much pregame, kind of saving it for the game, but also making sure I'm doing all my rehab stuff in the training room and doing everything I can to get it back to 100%. And it's been progressing really well. It's feeling better every day. So I've had a couple off days, I think, this past week or 2 weeks. So those have been helpful to get some downtime and focus on recovery. But I'm feeling like I'm in a really good spot right now.
Yeah, are you feeling close to at least 100% and getting there?
Yeah, definitely.
Tommy, thank you as always, and best of luck out there.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, time to call your shot, brought to you by Southern California Toyota. Once upon a time, Jerry actually played for the Show Nats. You hit 4 home runs in a Nationals uniform. Your last one was here at Dodger Stadium, a grand slam off of Matt Guerrier. So you get to go first.
Well, I'm so glad you brought that up, Johnny. That grand slam here at Dodger Stadium got me to the Brewers. Eventually got me to the Dodgers. But my call shot, I'm going Teoscar Hernandez. I think he has a huge night tonight. Teoscar, big fly.
I will say for me, it's a guy that, I really feel he's ready to start really taking off. And today is the day against a very tough lefty. I'm going to go Mookie Betts. You're going to go out there. You're going to have a great game, a couple doubles, possibly a home run. Let's go.
I like both of those shot calls. I'm going to take the guy we just heard from, a modest 5-game hitting streak, but Tommy Edman loves to swing the bat from the right side, which he is doing tonight against Mackenzie Gore. Tommy Edman's going to have a huge night in this Dodgers Friday night victory. All right, we're getting closer to first pitch. Speaking of Mackenzie Gore, he faced the Dodgers on April 7th. He got the win that day, allowing just 2 runs over 6 innings. Dodgers hoping for a little revenge, some success against the Nationals. Left-hander coming up. Access Sportsnet Dodgers is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers.
Dave, we've just heard the news from MLB about the suspensions. I have to imagine you're in a giant situation, but can you just kind of share your reaction to finding out just the news?
I support it. I think that obviously, I never want to make the game about the managers. It shouldn't be. It should be about the players and winning. And so, last night, both managers are protecting their teams, and, it just, unfortunately, it got to a point that we became the focus, and that's not the way it should be. So, there's a game suspension for both of us, and starts tonight. And I think Mike Hill, Major League Baseball, made the right decision. So it's something I'll certainly have to be mindful of.
So I think Daniel Lehman will step in.
Yeah, Daniel will manage the club tonight.
No Freddie in there. Is that just because of scuffling recently, or is there anything physically he's kind of?
No. I think it's just more of just the stretch that we're in, giving him a day, getting some other guys in there. Obviously, he's still managing his body. And so to give him one day to then get through the weekend, I think it's just the right decision.
What have you been seeing of him offensively?
I think he's just not right mechanically. I think if you see Freddie when he's right, there's the big part of the field, there's left center, there's left field, and I think right now he's just kind of hooking balls and not squaring them up the way he'd like to. So I think that's more mechanic driven.
Are those conversations with him about getting a day, are those any easier now?
They are. They've gotten easier, but he still wants to be in there, and I let him know a few days ago.
Yesterday you had him and Will switched in the order. Is that something you see for them moving forward, just while he kind of works through this?
No. I think for me it was more of looking at their guy in the sense of what their starter was like, right versus left, which for me, Freddie, it doesn't really, he's pretty agnostic. But I think that with Morahone in the pen, I just wanted there to be more of attacks. And as the game played out, Morahone had to go through Mookie and Will to get to Freddie. Didn't work out, but that was kind of my thought, to kind of fend against that. But that's not something I plan on doing much, if at all, going forward, certainly versus right-hander.
David, when Kersh pitched last time, vintage outing, it had been 2 years since he had 7 shutout innings. How much of that is his biomechanics are stronger because of the toe being better versus just Kersh being Kersh?
Like I say a lot, I think it's a combo. I think that he got a handful of starts under his belt, which should speak to more consistency of pitches, execution. He knew we needed some length, so he was going to will himself to that point. And so I think there's both parts of it. And so given there was 7 innings last time, first time in quite some time, I think that we're going to be mindful, also knowing that we have a loaded bullpen, to understand, appreciate how far we push him tonight.
Dave, with Shohei getting hit the shoulder last night, how much was today's bullpen to see how much soreness was there?
That was scheduled regardless, and it was encouraging that he still finished it, did it, and is online for Sunday.
Is there anything new there with him?
With who?
Roki?
Yeah, he played catch today. So I think he, I don't know if it was 60, 90 feet with the baseball. So that was a bonus, that was a plus. And chatted with him briefly afterward. He was excited about.
So the move to the 60 days, is that more of just a procedural thing?
More procedural, and kind of the progression, it doesn't affect that at all.
How is he feeling in terms of, does he still sort of feel anything in the shoulder, or is it sort of just sort of see how he feels coming out of the
I would say pain-free. I would say pain-free, and then now it's just, getting the build up. But most important, he's pain-free.
Tyler and Blake, are there any kind of plans for the 2 of them or 1 of them this weekend?
Blake is going to throw Sunday, and my guess is probably 2 innings. Or Tyler's going to throw 2 innings for OKC, and then Blake is going to throw a pen here in the next few days.
The organization announced it's donating $1 million for the help of the immigrants. Your thoughts there?
I think it's great. I'm sure the money is going to be allocated in the right way, and I'm happy to hear that the Dodgers have done that, and it's certainly the right thing to do.
Have there been conversations in the clubhouse at all about concerns about immigration policy?
No, there's not a lot of, outside of the kind of uncertainty and questions that most ball players ask, there's not a lot of intelligence on that part of things. So I think that they're more focused on kind of preparing for each night, but they're still mindful though, yeah.
Luis Garcia through, and how close? That's the second one, I think. Back.
Yeah, second one. I think the next one, it could be another live, or we could send him out. So hopefully he's getting close, yeah. So I think that at any point in time, we can kind of up the progression for Luis.
You talked about having a full bullpen tonight. He's on the way back. I mean, everybody's starting to come back. How good does that feel?
It feels good. It feels good. I think that we're getting, I'd like to say we're out of it as far as kind of where the bullpen is at. Obviously, it would help if Clayton goes out there and spits out a good one tonight. We have an off day kind of around the corner, which is great, but as far as kind of starting pitching, pen, getting to the off day, getting ready for Denver in Colorado, I think that we're in a good spot.
You've managed with Kershaw for a while now, and I know as much as he likes to talk about, he's not paying too much attention to 3,000 strikeouts. But how do you see, just with the increase of swing and miss, especially in the last 2 to 3 outings, how do you see that just kind of driving him as he gets closer to 3,000?
He's obviously, the main thing is to get hitters out, to go deep in games, to win, to put us in a position to win. But it's hard not to, appreciate how close he is to the 3,000 mark. And my guess is that he just wants to get this thing over as soon as possible, right? Instead of, he doesn't like kind of making things about him. So this is something that we're all excited about, and he wants it over as quick as possible, I'm sure.
Where are you watching the games now?
Haven't decided that yet. I don't know exactly all the restrictions, so I'm still got about a little under 3 hours to figure that out.
Come up and see us.
Yeah, I might join the broadcast booth.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
We'll go 3-man booth. Thanks, guys.
Bouncing ball right side and through. Ohtani knocks in Rojas. A little 2-out burst and a 4-1 lead.
A lot of space over on that right side. Shohei able to top spin that thing through, driving in a run.
And so Ohtani, who came in 1 for his last 12, has a perfect night going. 2 walks and now an RBI single.